Hey, so I said that I would make a video about being stealth, so I decided to make two. I was going to make a pro and con video, but then I thought that that was first off not super reflective of my experiences, and two, I didn't want it to seem like I was making general statements about pros and cons of being stealth. I just wanted to talk about my own benefits and challenges of being stealth. By stealth, I mean that I basically haven't really come out to the most people in my life right now. So I was really out in undergrad. Obviously, I have these videos, I'm out online. But then I moved to a different state for grad school. I decided I just wasn't going to talk about it. So there's definitely a possibility that people in my life know that I'm trans, but I haven't told them. I feel like because of that, people have gotten to know me very differently. So when I was out in college, a lot of people attached all of these things to me based on me being trans. They thought that I was somehow cool because of it, or brave, or enlightened, or radical. And I might be some of those things, but they didn't get to know me as a person. A lot of my acquaintances didn't. My friends obviously knew me beyond being trans, but I feel like it was very easy to go through life with just being this token trans person. And I wanted to experience what life would be like without that. Um, I was also interested in what it would be like to live life as male and not as trans. And by that I mean I come from a small town. I grew up in a small town. I transitioned there. And so I feel like people didn't really treat me as male as much as they treated me as a trans person. I just wanted to get to know who I was as a person, as a guy, have those experiences and sort of just really it was an opportunity when I moved, and I wanted to take that opportunity to live life as just a regular guy and see what that would be like. And I've definitely had those experiences. In many ways, I actually think that I've gotten to know myself better, or at least differently, in a different way, since I decided to be self. Because I've really, I think that you get to know yourself better every time you put yourself into a different set of experiences than you've ever had before. And when you step outside of your comfort zone and you do things differently, you see yourself from a different perspective. It's also been very freeing, and it's been freeing in so many different ways. One thing that comes to mind is that I don't have this pressure to educate people. And I don't want to give the wrong impression, because I love educating people. Obviously, I run a Tumblr where I educate people. I have these videos, and I love answering people's questions. I love teaching, but I like doing it on my own time. I don't like having to do it when I just am living my everyday life. So I was a student in classes where people would turn around and look to me when we would talk about gender, or ask me inappropriate questions, or even appropriate questions at inappropriate times. And part of that is a lot of people think that they'll never meet another trans person again, or this is like a huge opportunity for them to learn, or something like that, or they think that I'm an expert on everything related to gender. Which I did study gender in undergrad. I was a women in gender studies minor. I've read a lot about gender, but I'm not an expert because I'm trans. I have unique experiences, and I definitely know a lot because I'm trans, but that doesn't make me an expert automatically in everything related to gender, and a lot of people thought that it did. So I'm free from that. I'm free to sort of get to know people based on my interests and my personality, than have them feel like they know a whole lot about me just because they know I'm trans. So that's been a really great thing, I feel like, for me. And it's nice to have a break. It really, I feel like it was almost like being out as trans is like a full-time job in some ways, because you're always going to have, or at least I always felt like I was going to have someone be like, "Wow, you're trans, let's talk about this," when really I just want to get lunch, or I just want to talk about the classes that I'm taking, or the things that I'm actually really interested in. So that's one major thing. Also, there was the safety issue, and I'm really privileged in the sense that that was not the major determining factor. But when I moved here, I definitely knew that there had been some like transphobic incidences here. I knew that it might not necessarily be 100% safe, and so that was also part of the decision making process. And I think that that has been a benefit, is I don't have to worry as much about those sorts of things.